of inaugural ceremony of Artificial Intelligence Startup Summit 2024, and so grateful to welcome today's eminent guests, directors, deans, HODs, faculty members and dear students. Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and youth. Now I would like to invite Chief Guest Engineer VB Singh to kindly come on stage, sir, and would request Dr. SMK Rizvi, Dean Student Welfare and Chief Proctor BBD Educational Groups to kindly present him bouquet. So a huge round of applause, please. Chief Guest Engineer VB Singh. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Siddharth Chaurasia from TCS Lucknow and would request Dr. Praveen Kumar Shukla, Dean School of Engineering, BBD University, to kindly come on the stage and present him a bouquet. Welcome, sir. Let's begin by introducing our chief guest for today, Engineer VB Singh, presently Council Member and past National Vice President, past Chairman UP State Center IEI. He is awarded Abhyanta Ratna Award by UP Rajya Vidyut Parishad Abhyanta Sangh. He has completed his BTech from IIT Roorkee and joined UP Power Corporation as AE through campus selection and perform the duties up to chief engineer level. So I would request him to kindly come on stage, sir, and present your views to us.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, BBD University, Dr. A.K. Mittal, of course, in absentia. Resource person of this morning, Dr. Siddharth Chaurasia from TCS Lucknow. Dean Students Welfare, Dr. SMK Rizvi. Dean School of Engineering, Dr. Praveen Shukla. All head of departments, faculty members, और हमारे प्यारे प्यारे बच्चे जो कि देश का भविष्य हैं. आप सभी हमारे देश का भविष्य हैं. सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सभी को आज इस सुबह आप सबको मैं बधाई देता हूं कि इतना सुंदर कार्यक्रम आपने आयोजन किया और आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं. As regards startup, India's startup ecosystem has been thriving in recent years and artificial intelligence is increasingly becoming a focal point for many startups. The Indian government has launched several initiatives to promote artificial intelligence development, such as the National AI Strategy, which aims to foster research, development, and adoption of artificial intelligence technologies across various sectors. Programs like the Artificial Intelligence Task Force and AI Innovation Mission provide support and funding of artificial intelligence startups. India boasts a vibrant tech ecosystem with cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Delhi NCR serving as hubs for innovation and entrepreneurship. These cities are home to numerous technical startups, accelerators, and incubators, providing a conducive environment for artificial intelligence startup to thrive. India has a large pool of skilled technical talent, including engineers like you, data scientists, and artificial intelligence specialists. Many of these professionals are educated at top-tier institutions and are keen to work on cutting-edge artificial intelligence projects. This talent pool serves as a valuable resource for artificial intelligence startups looking to build innovative solutions. Artificial intelligence startups in India are addressing a wide range of challenges across various sectors. In healthcare, for example, startups are developing artificial intelligence-powered diagnostic tools and personalized treatment solutions. In finance, artificial intelligence is being used for fraud detection, risk assessment, and algorithmic trading. Similarly, in agriculture, artificial intelligence is helping farmers optimize crop yields and manage resources more efficiently. India has seen a significant influx of investment in artificial intelligence startups from both domestic and international sources. Venture capital firms, corporates, accelerators, and government-backed funds are actively investing in promising artificial intelligence ventures. This investment not only provides financial support, but also brings valuable expertise and networks to help startups scale their operations. Indian artificial intelligence startups are not only focused on the domestic market, but are also making a mark on the global stage. Many startups are expanding internationally, forging partnerships with global companies, and participating in international artificial intelligence competitions and conferences. I wish that you all will get a lot of knowledge related to startup artificial intelligence and wishing a grand success to this seminar. And after that मैं एक ऐड करूँगा कि जैसा कि हमारे ऑनरेबल प्रेसिडेंट ने प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा है कि आप जॉब गिवर्स बनिए, नॉट जॉब सीकर्स. तो आप सभी लोग इस बारे में सोचिए, स्टार्टअप की तरफ आप अभी से अपना ध्यान दीजिए और अपना स्टूडेंट्स के लिए विशेषकर कि आप अपना यहाँ पे नॉलेज गेन करने की कोशिश करिए. आप ये न सोचिए कि हमको जस्ट इसको यहाँ पे एक डिग्री हासिल करके मुझे खाली एक जॉब ज्वाइन कर लेना है. आप नॉलेज गेन करिए, जॉब तो आपके पास चल के आएगा अगर आपके पास नॉलेज होगी तो, और उसमें भी आप स्टार्टअप के लिए सोचिए. ये बहुत अच्छा मौका है. ये अपना देश में जितना डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है स्पेशली एआई और मशीन लर्निंग के केस में, इसका फ़ायदा उठाइए. आप लोग सोचिए. इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं. आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, विशेषकर प्रोफेसर प्रवीण शुक्ला जी को धन्यवाद जिन्होंने मुझे मौका दिया यहाँ पे आने का और आपके साथ में बात करने. धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Siddharth Chaurasia, Senior Scientist at TCS Lucknow. He is an experienced and dynamic leader known for driving results, executing and delivering groundbreaking software solutions. He has specialized in designing and developing information systems for sectors including aviation, healthcare, life sciences, and product development. He has several patents and publications in the area of artificial intelligence and its application. So now I would request you, sir, to kindly come on stage and share some experiences with us.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me, and thank you for the university for organizing such a apt topic, which is very relevant to today's context. Because आज के दिनों में I'll be using mixed language, right? Hindi and English, I guess. आज की डेट में नौकरी करना और एक नौकरी देने वाला बनना, that's two different things. Startups means you are the kingmaker, you are the job givers now. And enterprises, it's like you go and work. Both have its own pros and cons. One makes you learn, another is like where you learn yourself. जब आप अपने आप सीख रहे होते हैं, जब आप अपने आप कर रहे होते हैं, it is much more, I would say, difficult to learn, but much more faster in pace. आपको पता होगा कि if you, let's say, कोई बता दे और तब आप कर लें, it becomes very easy for everyone. But entrepreneurship is a journey where you learn how to make things from the scratch. You fail, you learn, you fail, you learn. You keep on trying, and that's when the entrepreneurship comes online. Right? And that's where we'll be talking about. Instead of talking what entrepreneurship is, I'm going to be talking upon artificial intelligence and entrepreneurship, or the startups, meaning how AI is helping us, or how AI can help us in the journey of our startups. Okay? Feel free to ask questions, or maybe because there are so many students, let's have the question at the end only. But I'm going to be moving at a pace where probably you should be able to follow along, because I'll be talking about AI, concepts of AI, and how these concepts itself are going to be helping you to make them as a relevant startup possibilities and opportunities. I'm going to link that things, meaning what are the AI concepts, what are the AI technology, and how today's AI technology can be helpful in creating or in creation of our own startup today. Just to let you know, before we start with the presentation exactly, the pace of startups, or rather AI-driven startups, is like short of the roof right now, especially since last 2 years or so. I guess everybody knows ChatGPT and all, right? I hope so, that everybody, if he is not using for their assignments, if you're not using for your examination preparation, probably you're not using the right tools which are there in the market today. Okay, so I'm going to start from there and we'll go on. But before that, what's your name, please? So this is the agenda that we'll be covering today. Right? First, we'll be covering quite a bit on what AI as is today, what has the changes that happened since last couple of years, like 2-3 years. Because in the world of AI, 5 years is like history. Maybe 1 year, we are already running behind. That's the pace of the AI changes that are happening. Right? So we'll be talking about our today's state. And then we'll be talking about current buzzword, which is called generative AI. I hope you have heard. If not, this is the introduction for you all. And then we'll be talking about how generative AI is the impact, or how is it going to be impacting us in the entrepreneurship journey for us. And finally, we'll be looking at what are few AI startups in India, and then what can be our way forward. Okay, after understanding what is the journey, how this can be taken forward, how we can actually utilize the resources which we have at our disposal, how we can set it up, and how the fundings can also be gained. Okay, that's where we'll be going on. Please. Just one slide on which talks about the potential of, or where we are moving, right? One more click, yeah, that's it. So this is just to show, because all the startups and all the potentials are where the money goes, right? And right now, money is flowing into the world of AI. If you know, very recently, Anthropic and Hugging Face, how many of you know Hugging Face? That is a website for open source AI models, right? That's a startup from Europe. They have been valued at more than I think 4 billion, right? And that startup has an age of, I think, 7 or 8 years, not more than that. So that's the pace of flow of money that we are seeing in the world of AI, right? So AI startups, and these two are just the projections on where we are right now and where we are seeing the amount of money flow that's going to be happening. Let's say how many times you are seeing that, 14 to 200. This is the amount that we are seeing or we are projecting right now, which should be flowing in the world of AI world, right? And this is for a year projection. This is kind of a savings that we are seeing with the help of generative AI startups, generative AI ideas, generative AI implementations in the current ecosystem of their own. Okay? So this was just to show you the potential which is there. Okay? Now moving along. I will be focusing upon generative AI today. Why generative AI? Because this is where we are today. This is where we are working and implementing things. Okay. Artificial intelligence had a very long history. In 60s or even before that, the term artificial intelligence, Dartmouth conference, and so many things happened. But at that point of time, we were way ahead of the concept. When we say way ahead, this means हमारे पास compute power ही नहीं थी. हमारे computational engines were not powerful enough to implement those ideas itself. But today, we are somewhere where we are at the stage where those ideas can be materialized. Those ideas can be created or given a form with the help of today's computational power, right? I'm not sure how many of you are probably too young to follow the stock market, but NVIDIA stock has doubled. It's a very, very large company, right? In last few months or so, less than a year. That's the pace of chip maker which is providing this computational power for us. I'm giving you these citations just because to let you know, to give you a view that where the world is moving towards, where these kind of innovations are happening. And NVIDIA, since it powers those innovations, that is the chip which goes into the data centers. And that's where the stock is moving. Normally, hardware has a very short run-up. आपको क्या होता है? Scaling, जब भी आपको अपना business बड़ा करना है, right? You will be looking at कैसे हम एक customer से 10 customer पे जाएंगे, 10 से 100 पे जाएंगे, 100 से 1000 पे जाएंगे, right? That's called the scaling law. Normally, hardwares are very difficult to scale. उनकी जो journey होती है, वो एक certain level पे जा करके stagnates. While softwares, they are very easy to scale. आपने एक platform बना लिया, आज मेरे पास 100 लोग आते थे, कल 1000 आने लग गए, परसों 10,000 आने लग गए. जैसे Amazon.com, right? Flipkart.com, जब वो or even Paytm. I remember when Paytm launched their, जब Paytm ने launch किया था अपना app, and for 2 days they gave an offer, and the offer was whatever you put in your wallet, in the Paytm wallet, they'll be doubling that amount for 2 days, right? And the upper limit was 10,000 rupees. Of course, there will be upper limit. Now, I'm not sure how many people took that advantage. Only because it was a startup, there is a high chances of getting fraudulent being taken advantage of. Plus, there was a high chance that Paytm may not survive because this seemed to be a very not very fruitful business model itself. Right? आप हमारे account में 10,000 रुपए जमा कर रहे हैं और हम आपको 20,000 कर देंगे next day. Now you cannot withdraw that, but you can purchase anything from that particular wallet. You can recharge your mobile and other things. The Paytm of let's say 5-7 years back when it was launched. Only those with the entrepreneurial mindsets were able to put in that. अब आप उसको बोले कि वो risk लेने की ability होती है. That is what entrepreneurial mindset is. Now, a question may come, why I'm working for TCS, why not I am opening my own startup, right? That risk-taking ability defines that. At your age, had it been the environment, I would have gone for a startup. At my age, I'm better in a secured place, right? So that is the difference that brings in the risk-taking ability. And entrepreneurship is all about enjoying adventure and risk-taking ability with a proper mindset and a proper plan. It's not like simply jump into the swimming pool. You'll have to learn first and then start swimming. Okay? So we are going to be focusing more on the generative AI now because this is where I'm going to be showing you the path, one path where a lot of money is going to be flowing in and the ideas that can be matured in this particular area can have a higher probability to be taken to a next level. Right? But before that, since you are all probably BTech first year students, I'm going to be covering little bit on the conceptual part of what generative AI is. How is it different from the historical AI? I'm taking that normal AI, which is not generative. I'm giving it a name of historical AI, or even before that, right? So generative AI is where the technique, the artificial intelligence is able to generate things. Not only define things, it is able to generate things. Now, I'll show you, in next couple of slides, I'll show you how it is different from the previous AI, because this generation ability is only possible when there is a creativity inherent, right? We cannot simply say that these models or these artificial intelligence techniques, these are going to be very creative in nature, but the way we can utilize them, the kind of knowledge base that they are having, they can be utilized in a creative way. And that's the power they leverage for us. And that's where this kind of transformation is happening right now, right? So generative AI is basically when AI technology can help us in generate things. It can help us in generation of images, it can help us generation of textual information, it can help us generation of music, movies, and many other things. Let me cite you a small story before we move on to the next slide. Right, and this is truth. There is one of my friend, he's having a startup, right? A startup goes with the name We Remember, okay? And he's not only this friend, he's not only a startup owner, out of his hobby, he is into movie production, he's into song production basically, not movies, short movies and song productions. So the normal path he used to take earlier was, he used to hire one singer. After writing a song, he used to hire one singer. Okay, he used to sing the song. And then for the photography, he used to hire a cameraman and a complete team for videography shooting was to be hired. And then the video shooting would have complete. A low budget song would take around, say, 8 lakhs or so. This was his normal budget in that scenario. 1 lakh for the singer, 5 lakhs for the video stuff, and 2-3 for here and their advertisement and all. Now, when he was shooting his last song, we had a small phone talk. Occasionally we do. So he was telling that my new song is ready. We have got it ready from a singer, and now we are planning for a video shoot. Okay. This was a time when about 3 to 4 months back. And at that point of time, we had pretty good AI image generators, video generators and all. So me being in this part of the world, that is AI world, I asked, why did you try any, let's say, any say music video generator or so? He is a technocrat. He was my batchmate in my college days and all. He said, okay, suggest me some. I asked, what is your budget normally for videography? And then only I know that this is the budget for his one song and all. He said around 5 lakhs for videography. And I said, okay. Are you ready to experiment with 50,000 or so? I said, I'm okay. So I suggested him certain tools, that these are the tools where you can try and you take a week's time and see what it can be done from it. And he is an entrepreneur. He has a startup of his own. He left he was at a very high position in JP Morgan Chase Bank, and then he resigned and put up his startup and all. Since he has that risk-taking capability and he is that kind of entrepreneurship, he said, okay, give me a week's time. And after 2 days, he asked for a week's time, and after 2 days he asked me, can you come on a video call, a WhatsApp call? I said, okay, give me a show. So he showed me a video clip of 10 seconds. This is what I was able to generate in last 2 days. I said, I didn't say whether it's good or bad. I said, what do you say now? Is it possible to generate an entire song with the help of these tools? He said, definitely, but I need better tools now. I said, okay, go for these ones which are paid ones now. Instead of free ones, go for a paid one, and within a month's time, that video was launched on YouTube, on the entire thing, and it was entirely AI generated videography, no videography. All that 5 lakh rupees got turned into 50,000, and this video had a new advertising campaign as well, because it was kind of a first AI generated video song within India itself. That's how you advertised it. That's where I'm telling you this story, because this is a fact, this happened with me, and I know a person who is already doing that. Earlier, the same amount used to be from 5 lakh Now he was able to do, the entire production time used to be 3 months or so. Now he was able to crunch the time within a month, budget from 5 lakh to 50,000. I guess it was 50,000 was we allocated. I don't know how much he actually spent, but it was much lower than that, right? That's where we are moving now. In fact, if you know, there are many companies in India right now who are working towards animations, who are working towards video generation itself. One company which is named as Phantom. Phantom VFX is a company which is based out of Chennai, and it is now opening offices in US, in UK and others. They are moving right into this thing. They are helping big production houses to create AI-based things, to create advertising, and in fact, many of the advertisements that are coming right now, they are happening because of the AI tools that we are seeing. So that's the potential. The story was just to help you understand what is the level where we are moving. In fact, there is one professor from somewhere in Europe, from Germany University. He has created many models which are dedicated to music. He is into rock music, and he's continuously releasing new albums every week now. That's the pace at which new albums are getting released because of the AI things. He's able to bring in the music information, and he's able to carve out a new path for himself, more apart from being a professor in the university itself. Okay, so that's where we are moving on. Can you please move on? Okay, so this slide is where I'm going to give you information on where we were and where we are right now. So initially, if you look at, I'm not sure whether it's very clear or not, because it's not very clear to me as well. The first line shows where was machine learning. So machine learning, actually it was a big change when we were looking at, right? To learn from the data. बहुत सारा data दे दीजिए and कोई machine को दे दीजिए and it will start giving us insights from it. That was itself a big thing, right? Instead of we doing the programming, machine was doing the programming for us. That's what machine learning was. And then came in the era of deep learning, where that was somewhere in 2012 or so, especially with the images when models like LX9 and others came in, जो कि आप बहुत सारे images को दे दीजिए and it was able to analyze images and आपके लिए object detection कर रहे थे, object identification कर रहे थे और इस तरह के काम हो रहे थे. But all these models, both machine learning world and deep learning world, they were very specialized models. आपके कोई भी algorithm जो कि machine learning world से आप उठा रहे थे या AI world से आप ले रहे थे, they were very specific to a particular task. Let's say हमने पहचानना सीखा कि ये कुत्ता है कि बिल्ली है, right? Whether it's a dog or it's a cat. Because हमारा data set वैसा था, we were able to understand only difference between dogs and cats. That is what, when we were talking about deep learning, right, and machine learning. What happened after the world of generative AI is, my input has also become very complex, and my output has also become very complex. Meaning, we are not limited to any defined outputs now. Input is anyways what we are feeding in. We are not limited to our outputs now. With the multimodal modality coming in, when we say multimodal, मतलब अब हम text को भी बात कर सकते हैं, images की बात भी कर सकते हैं, video की बात भी कर सकते हैं, audio की बात भी कर सकते हैं, and all the modality that we are looking at, they all can be clubbed together and the outputs can be coming out from in that form, right? That's where we are able to generate songs, we are able to generate movies, we are able to generate advertisements, we are able to generate, say, different kind of contents basis on what our requirement. And that's where we are talking about these new generative AI, and typical term that is being used in industries is that these are the foundational models. And the most popular foundational model was GPT because of ChatGPT. Right, in November 2022, when it came in, right, it was like, let's say, आप लोग पता नहीं जानेंगे कि नहीं जानेंगे, but let's say 10-15 years back when there were no smartphones, right? We were having those button wala smartphones or button wala phones only, right? That was itself a big thing. Now we were able to communicate from one place to another place by having a small tool in our hand. Then came in the era of smartphones, right? Now we were swiping and seeing movies and having cameras in our hand and everything was there. But to learn, to use that smartphone, do we need to understand the technology inside that? No. Right? For most of us, only we are able to understand what is the megapixel of my camera, what is my screen size, what is the weight of my phone, and that's it. Probably that much. And we are able to use that smartphones. This new foundational models, what it has enabled us is, we are able to use this AI technology without even understanding what's going under the hood. That's the difference. Think smartphone as a simile for these foundational models. These foundational models, you being a technocrat, you'll have to understand a little bit if you are using, if you are going to utilize this as a path for your entrepreneurship. But as a user, as a common user, we don't have to understand how ChatGPT was made. We simply can go in and talk to that tool and get our work done, right? Similarly, not only that, there is a new startup in India. I'm not sure how many of you heard, Perplexity.ai. Anybody have heard? ChatGPT ChatGPT was more of a tool which was very like kabhi sahi batayega, kabhi galat batayega. This was its let's say challenges part of it, because generative AI is generating things. It can generate sahi baat, it can generate galat baat, it can generate hypothetical things, and it will present to you in a way that will feel like that it is always speaking the truth. To get rid or to address this particular challenge, there's one person, I think Sandeep or Sanjeev, that's the name of the founder here, Perplexity.ai. They said, okay, we want truthfulness. We want to know who has said that, which document has said that, which website is saying that. We want all those information to be accompanied by whatever you are coming out of it. Right? So it took one simple challenge which was there in ChatGPT. We all were facing, but it was one single person who took that and made it as a startup. So ideas will be there everywhere. You have to pick that what you want to address it. Right? So Perplexity.ai, what they did was they started providing references for each and every outcome that it was generating. And that was a big yes, especially for somebody who is into the professional domain. Because you cannot you cannot get something from ChatGPT and start pasting it everywhere and not believing whether it's always going to be truth. Right? So that's where this Perplexity.ai flown. Similarly, there are many startups that are going on. But to understand that, foundational models are giving us the capability of utilizing this technology without understanding what's going on under the hood. That's what the change of a smartphone has happening. We all are users of a smartphone. We do not need to understand beyond a certain limit what's the technology behind that. Right? That's how these smartphones are going on. Please. Was versus is means how AI was used earlier and how we are going to be using it today. Please go ahead. So this was my discriminative technique where we were trying to identify whether it's a dog or it's a cat. Very narrow AI, very focused AI. A problem statement is very clearly given and it can only address that. But now we are in the world of generation. Let's say I want a picture of a dog being created. It can generate n number of dogs, n number of breeds. It can even specify what it is going to be. Can you please go on? So, traditional programming was you used to code. I'm not sure how many you used to code. At least we used to code on the black screen of COBOL, where the program used to go for 1,000 lines or so to get, even if I'm not sure, assembly language was one of the programming languages where to print hello world, we used to write 100 lines of code. Now that 100 lines of code can be written into one single line. And even beyond that, we don't have to do the programming itself. Now we say this is the task. Can you do it for me? And boom, it is done with the help of some other AI tool. How many of you know GitHub Copilot? Okay, at least some, right? So you know GitHub Copilot is a copilot which can help us in assisting in whatever we are doing in part of coding part, right? Similarly, there are many such copilots, many such tools like Google Duet. Even in Google Colab, we are getting those AI assistants who can help us in coding. Okay? So now we really don't have to go and bother about the syntax. We need to go and see what is my task, what do I want to achieve, and make use of those assistants and get those programming done. Okay? Those part has taken over. So our traditional programming method is gone. Right? Then came the wave of 2012, where we were talking about neural networks. And in neural networks, in the previous world, those were very focused ones. Means, agar humko ye pehchanna hai ki who is smiling and who is crying, we have an appropriate data set, feed into the model, train it, and then it will be able to answer that. And now gone are those words as well. Now we are looking at, next please, where we ask, this is what I need, and models are helping us to generate those things. This new age technologies, which we are calling as generative AI, or rather foundational models which are backbone of it, they are helping us to generate things. They are helping us to going away with the narrow functionality. Means if it can now simply say, can you help me generate a person who is smiling at a beach? It can do that. A person who is crying at a site of pool, it can do that. Right? It's because it is able to understand the patterns of the languages. It has the fair understanding of the patterns of the language and how it is getting represented into the images forms as well. Right? So those multimodality is coming together, and that's where we are currently. And this technology which is there for us, right, for us to grab, to think, because now what is most actually challenging for the enterprises right now is it is leveling the playing field for everyone. Organizations like IBM, TCS, or Google, or whatever these organizations were, their USP was trained programmers, trained engineers, right? Now that kind of the leveling of the playing field is happening. People can go in and start coding without learning coding itself. That's how these new age tools are changing us. So in the previous world, where we were talking about the traditional ML models, we used to have a data set very specific to a particular task. While in the new world, where we are talking about the foundational models, our models are very generic in nature. They are like, जिसे बोलते हैं ना, like Swiss knife. It is able to answer or do most of the things which we want to do. Right? Of course, if we are going to go for a very specific kind of a task, it will be requiring further fine-tuning, but a general understanding of the ecosystem, the general understanding of the language and human world is already embedded within these foundational models. And that helps us to get going very quickly. Think of the previous traditional ML models. We were to train a single AI model. Okay, let me cite some from what we have experienced in industry. Typical AI project used to be, even before AI, typical development project used to be around 6 months or so. It shrank to 3 months or so when the AI world came in. And it has come down to less than a month when this new traditional AI, this generative AI has come in. That's the pace at which the changes are happening. Now, in the agile world, we have learned that probably the sprint is going to be of 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now the entire project is happening within 4 weeks. That's the kind of change of pace we are seeing in the world of generative AI. Please go on. Okay, so the image is not very clear. It shows a good canine citizen, how a foundational model can, which is having a generic information, can understand the dog is sitting, the dog is come down, or these instructions whenever it has been given to a particular thing. It is able to understand those kind of images, those kind of instructions directly, right? That's why we call it as the basic understanding of the language, basic understanding of the human world is already there with us. Can you please go on? And that is what our foundational model is, right? Meaning there is a common information, which is common information of the world, which is already there with us. Now there is a prompt. Prompt is nothing but how we interact. We can ask a particular question and it is going to provide an answer to us, right? Go on, please. And okay, so this is okay, please skip this slide. Right. So now this general information is already there. We know that how, let's say to a dog, if an instruction is given, come, go, sit and dance and all, it can do that. But what if we want to train that particular dog as a police dog, or as a dog for guiding, or as a dog for hunting? Then it becomes a specialized training which is still going to be needed. Right? General information, general instructions, my dog can follow. But this one, they'll have to be further trained, right? Because policing, or let's say a dog which is going to be assisting a police, it will require a specialized training. It should know how to smell a bomb, or let's say some other things like those, right? How to smell a drug and all. Similarly, a guide dog should know the way in the area that it's working in. So that is what we are calling as a fine-tuning of those particular models, right? That is going to be needed. Can you please go on? So that is what we are saying, that task-specific label data set will be required. Let's say we have ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I'm taking name again because everybody knows that. But it cannot answer let's say if I am having such and such medical situation, what is the medicine would you suggest? It will refrain to do that because it is trained on a generic information like what you will be having like Wikipedia and others. It may not be having a very specialized information. That is, specialized information will require a specialized data set again. So that is what we are calling as a fine tuning, and will require those specialized information to get a ChatGPT to a medical related foundational model, medical related AI model, right? Similarly, on the surveillance side, please go on. So these large language models or foundational models, they are very good at a general answering, but they'll require a specialized training, specialized information to get a particular task done. Please move on. Right, so it needs to be tailored to our specific needs, and then that is what we call as a domain adaptation of a particular foundational model. These domain adaptation can be from the medical domain, from let's say healthcare domain, from energy domain, from mining domain, because for each and every domain where we are talking about, everything in one domain, the same thing can be allowed, in another domain the other thing can be not permitted. Right? So please go on. Skip this. Right. So domain specialization or domain specific question answering is going to be the next thing where the easy innovations can be done. So I'm giving you one area which can be taken up as a new entrepreneurship, new thing that can be taken up. Think of a domain, think of a need that around you, which you can be doing, which you can be fulfilling. And these AI models, basic foundational models, can help you get going very quickly, bring in those small data sets. And to train the models like ChatGPT, it requires billions and millions of dollars. To have a domain adaptation, it takes some, say, less than 1,000, maybe less than 10,000 or so. Right? So which comes into a common man's budget, which is no more requiring a big wallet share, which can only be possible when we are looking in a developed world. Rather, in our world itself, we can do on our own and on our own capacity. Please move on. Let's skip this one. Right. So, not sure whether it's going to be visible for you all, but please open, I'll speak. Right. So, business capabilities of generative AI, that's where we will be looking at so many other use cases, so many other challenges which can be addressed at a startup level. Let's say contact center analytics, content generation, code generation. Code generation is one which probably CS students are going to be very familiar with, right? So GitHub Copilot, MS365 Copilot, there are so many Copilots. Copilot means somebody who is sitting with you and helping you in write and assist in that, right? So these are the kind of tools which are going to be there, right? Innovation and creativity is going to be at your fingertip as long as you have that idea. The conversion of that idea into some kind of tool becomes much easy, because now let's say I have been only working on the backend side since my inception of the career. I have always been on the data side. Either I had been working on the PL SQL and then DBA and ERPs, but everything on the data side. I have no exposure at all to the front end. But if I'm looking at to create a website of my own, I can do that with the help of these tools. I won't take more than 2 days to create my website of my own. In fact, let me give you an example which happened. We were working for a particular customer in our organization, right? That customer gave us a project for where a 4-line business requirement was given. Right, that 4-line business, and if we are working in an enterprise setup, that 4-line business requirement means we'll have to convert that 4-line into a 2-page document, 5-page document, which will be more of a business problem statement, business this is then. And then it gets converted into user stories and epics, and then it gets converted into back-end code and front-end code. In all, in the entire, the estimation was to be done in 6 weeks. When we utilized, there were certain 4 or 5 tools, AI tools we used to do that, and we completed the entire 6 weeks project within 2 weeks. How? We were able to convert those 4-line business requirement to 2-page or 3-page business problem statement with the help of an AI tool, right? Of course, there was a person who was sitting there who was seeing that this is apt and this is relevant. So the normally 4-page to 2-page conversion, 3-page conversion would have taken us 2 days or so. Now it was done within a half day after all the review and everything was done. Then once that was done, the conversion of this 2-page document or 3-page document into user stories and epics was done in a click, right, with the help of another AI tool. And that was, this entire statement would have taken, this step would have taken us 2 days or so. Now this was done within a click, let's say 15-20 minutes or so, because it was very accurate. We don't have to do much on that. Once that was done, there came the back-end part and the front-end part, right? For the front-end part, I'm going to give you a name of a tool. Figma, I'm not sure if you have ever used it. Figma is a website which can help you develop static web pages. Right? आपको कोई भी वेबसाइट बनाना है, आप उसको यूजर्स आप जाइए, उसमें जाके क्लिक करके अपना बना दिए कि यहाँ पे बटन रखना है, यहाँ पे ये इनपुट करना है, यहाँ पे ये करना है, FIGMA, Figma, right? And it will help you create a static website. आपको एक static website page बन गया. Now, with the help of another AI tool, we converted that static website into a working dynamic website within 1 click. So, dynamic website जो कि हमें बनाने में शायद 1 हफ्ता लगा होता, we were able to do within 1 week, within 1 day. Then came in the coding part, right? Let's say the back-end coding part. We utilized all these tools, what you said, GitHub Copilot and all. Then came in the testing part. We utilized another AI tool for the testing to be done. And then came in the deployment part. There was another AI tool which helped us to deploy. So entire 6 weeks work was done within 2 weeks, tested and deployed. That is the pace in which these kind of tools are helping us, and it's up to you how you can ideate, how you can think and get these tools leveraged for your creativity. Now please go ahead. I'll skip this. Next please. Right, so the advantage that new startups are going to have is they are normally free from regulatory, or almost there isn't much of the regulatory clauses for them, right? For example, for enterprises, big enterprises, to get approval for a particular tool to be utilized in a particular organization may take up to 6 months. Let's say GitHub Copilot came in, right? I want to utilize that particular tool within my organization for my work. I may require more than 6 months to get approval of it from my security, from my legal, from my different departments, right? For a startup, you can go in and start using it. So that is the biggest advantage that startups are seeing right now. Okay, because we are working at a level playing field. Whatever you can do with the help of these tools, I can also do the same thing. Only little experience can be different, but you'll get that as you utilize these tools, right? Next, please. Now we are coming to what is the way forward, how you can utilize these tools and start doing on your own. I'm naming these three because it's much easier to develop things on the cloud right now instead of using on-premise system, right? So AWS is providing a AWS Activate. Microsoft have a Founders Hub and Google has a Google Cloud Startups Cloud program. All these 3 programs provide us free credits. When I say free credits, if you have a startup listed, you can go in, apply, and within 3 days time, you get $10,000 or so in your account for all the experimentations that you want to do from these 3 organizations. Now, these $10,000 can go up to $3 million as a credit for the startups, basis on how the progress you are showing them. Not only that, they will provide you a marketplace to market your own product free of cost. So these kind of a startup support, ecosystem support is there with the help of all these 3 prominent hyperscalers which are there for us. This is what is available at the world level. We have many such initiatives happening from the India level, Indian government, and many other Indian startup bodies as well, which the speaker previous to me has already covered. Right? Please move on. Skip this. I think I'm good. Please go on. Move on. So the question is, are you ready for the AI as a co-founder? If you are ready for AI as a co-founder, I'm not sure if you have seen, after the launch of ChatGPT, within 2 months, there was a paper which was written as ChatGPT as a co-researcher or co-author. And within 3 months, there was a book which was having ChatGPT as a co-author. So this means if you are ready, if you have the capacity, you can utilize these things and have these tools as a co-founders and be ready for the startups there. Go on, please. The addition of generative AI as a co-founder can give you. So generative AI by now, I hope that you know that it's a general purpose technology. Technology is something like a smartphone where you do not need to understand what's going under the hood, rather use it directly. And that's what this generative AI is enabling us to do. And for entrepreneurs, generative AI can assist in researching ideas and so much that you can be done. Only thing is you should have an idea, you have a target what you want to do, go and start exploring instead of start using Google as a ChatGPT say companion. Not don't bank on ChatGPT directly because it's a big liar as well, right? And it wraps around its own lies. I think generative AI will alter the competitive landscape. That is already happening. Already happening means now you can develop a similar tool in less than time which I'll probably take, because my own mindset is go and do the things on our own, while your mindset would be go and utilize those tools and make that change happen and make the things adapt those things. And that's the big change that is bringing in these kind of AI tools for you. Okay, and probably that's it. Thank you. If there is anything I can skip, I skip that as well. Otherwise, it will be too much for us. Okay, one last thing that where will be 2 more minutes, please. I'll be talking about few very prominent startups from India on the AI side as well. React Labs, that is a startup from Bombay, I guess. And what they are giving us is kind of a Mixi-like machine, right? Which has a LED and it can do 25 things for us. It can knead, matlab aata san sakta hai. It can cook to a certain degree with the help of this. It has a cooking capacity in that. And this is a AI, it has a AI built in. Right? You don't have to do things. You just put it and do a voice control things, and it can do that. And this thing is available for sale in Amazon as well, right? Some 22,000 or so. And it was built by an Indian startup. And you know, I'm not sure this atta sande ki machine was very big innovation, especially for the foreign world, because it was a very difficult task for anyone to do that. Our ladies are champions for that actually, but this is a very, very difficult task for us. Right, so this machine actually helps us there as well. Right? AI cooking assistant. That's what the name is. The name goes by Delish Up. If you look at Amazon, you will find that, even Flipkart. Please go on. These are few other startups on the agriculture side where they are helping us identify and what to do at what different times. I think that's all. Please close. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative session. So let's move towards memento distribution. Now I would request Dr. SMK Rizvi, Dean Student Welfare and Chief Proctor, BBD Educational Groups, to kindly present memento to Engineer VB Singh. So please kindly come on stage, sir. Thank you, sir, for sparing your such a valuable time with us today. Next, I would request Dr. Praveen Kumar Shukla, Dean School of Engineering, BBD University, to present memento to Dr. Siddharth Chaurasia from TCS Lucknow. Thank you so much, sir. Let's have a short tea break. We'll be back soon. Students, it's request to kindly be seated.